Přišla bída, mora, hlad, to neustojí žádnej chlap. Na kraj padnul děsnej smutek, kdo měl nohy ráno utek, děti šmouženský maj sad, kdo včera žil, dneska je prach. Už sej moji svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejt v jejich kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední den. Půjďme se bávy a do rána slávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal jeden. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zejtra jen tu soudnej den, tak nalej mi hned, až točí se svět. Ty dneska vůbec nikdo neví, zase zítra Ježíš živí a není to naposled. Zásluhujte večer potoky vína, nesmí nic nesere se mezi svýma, nesmí nic nesere, dnes nás se slaví, židle vypije, nezdělaj nám hlavy. Švédská je příteli, plemeno hadí, pustí k sobě a ona tě zraní. Srdce tě bolí, nechceš už jinou, nehledej příteli, nalej si víno. Jebana vlásta, masta a jeba, řekni mi příteli, čeho víc třeba. Přijďte kurvy a vypalte sluky, dnes vás mají všichni zí mrtví a chudy.
Ai visto la plorena la lebre, ai visto la plorena danzar, tolle in tre fosse ne tonde all'obre, ai visto la plorena la lebre, non si infotte un po' pecco, ai visto la plorena lollo, a che ti mondo tola nodo, merci che se ne plorena lollo. A che ti mondo tola nodo, merci caudiso, ringhiere in giron messaggio, hai visto lo plorena la lebre, non si fotte un papecco, hai visto le plorena non lo.
Hello everyone, welcome to another round robin. I had some time Sunday before I go back into the school next week, so I thought I would host another event just to make the most of the time that I have now. I can't promise that I'll be hosting Sunday events often, especially as things get more busy, but maybe there'll be some nighttime events or something down the road, but we will see. I will get more busy, especially because we got all sorts of events going on at the school, so. Anywho, I think Piper wanted to fight first, so I guess we get his fights done. Unless I hear otherwise. Actually, let's just call Piper Piper, just for simplicity. I sometimes mess with the format otherwise. We have Zero Null with us today as well. Anyone who's a veteran of the server will remember him. Awesome player, an awesome community member. He specifically did not want to. Oh, okay. I thought he wanted to fight first because he was like, wait, I can't? But okay. We'll do Daisy against Oak in that case then. Oak will be on the right side, Daisy on the left. Yeah, 'cause he wasn't in front, so I assumed he meant, like, he wanted to fight first. But anyway, Oak is here. Daisy will be here soon. If anyone wants to commentate with me, I'll be in commentator talks. And yeah, you can feel free to join, whether Zero Null wants to join or whoever. Feel free to hop on in. Okay, they're both here. And like I said, Daisy on the left, Oak on the right. I haven't messed with the settings in the game, so I hope that's all going smoothly. I restarted the computer last time. I messed with the settings earlier and reset them, so let's hope we're not running into those same problems. Basically done everything I can to make sure this runs smoothly, so if it doesn't, then I don't know. Kubal's broken his game at that point, but I don't think it'll be an issue. Connection should be smooth as well. Daisy on the left, Oak on the right. If you need keyboard, Daisy, let me know. Also, while we're here, since Daisy seems to be having a problem, I'll just make the game capture Hellish Quart. Controller not working. Wonder why it is. You have controller. I'll try and reset them. Sometimes you just need to rejoin Parsec or retry, so. Okay, Daisy left. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe just try rejoining. Oh, wait. Were you not in before? There you go. Um, yeah, I don't know. So add hash, if you're struggling to find players, you can ping matchmaking or you can join the tournaments. Can't take control. I'm not sure what's up then. Um, is it something on your end maybe? Oak, if you can just try taking control to see if keyboard's working. Like press G or something. Oak? Oh, is Oak there? Is Oak in the parsec? He is. Yeah, so Oak, if you could just try, like, pressing buttons. I know you're not on the left, but press G or something. Oak? Okay, Oak's not listening, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's up. Oak's not responding. Daisy's still here. Um, yeah, okay, Oak is able to select, I think. I don't think that was Daisy. So I don't know what's up, but works in Windows and can control it in the parsec menu. Hold on. Did you try clicking the parsec window? I know it's a stupid question, but sometimes that's literally all you have to do. You might have already tried that, but sort of like restarting the game, just a nice way to. Nothing. Okay. Well, I guess I'll message this guy who's struggling to find people. Try a regular controller? Alright, yeah. Open Steam controller options. What? Yeah, I don't know what he's on about, but regardless, let's try this again. I'll reset as well, Daisy. Reset the controllers. I know it's a bit annoying dealing with it now, but I'd rather get the technical issues sorted now, because we'll have to sort them out later anyway. So let's see if we can sort them out now. The rest of the tourney will run smoothly once we do that. So does your regular controller work? Again, try clicking the window and stuff. You'll restart the computer. All right, I guess while you do that, I don't wanna skip the fight, but I think that's the most efficient way to do this, and then we'll try again once we're done with my fight against Maestro. I think that's what we'll do. Just gives you time. Yeah, so changing controller options in Steam doesn't matter because we're using Parsec. They have nothing to do with each other. And if Maestro doesn't show up right away, we can do 0-0 against Apostle. I'm pretty sure those two are here, so. Yeah, well, I guess restarting's the nuclear option that will fix it anyway, but yeah. Alright, yeah, if Maestro doesn't show up, I'll just let you both in again. I think that's what we'll do. Yeah, I don't think Maestro's around, which is interesting. Maybe he has stuff to do in the background. I'll just let you both in again. Alright, Oak is here. We'll just wait for Daisy. She said 20 to 30 seconds, which isn't a problem. There's no rush. Oh, and now Maestro joined. We're gonna have to wait, Maestro. Let's see if we can get Daisy's issue sorted. Fortunately, Daisy beat you to the punch there, so as did Oak. So we'll do your fight right after as scheduled. Daisy take the left, Oak on the right. Huh. Still nothing? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, sorry, Oak. I know I let you back in just now, but makes the most sense to move on for now. When you've set that up, give me a ping or something. We'll just continue with the other fights while we wait. I might not see your message if you don't ping me, so. Okay, Maestro should be here. Maestro will be on the left, I'll be on the right. And Zero Null will get a chance to fight right after this, which is exciting. Okay, I think I have to back out 1 second. Alright, go ahead. Left side, Maestro. Okay, what's going on? Make sure you click the window. Okay, I'm able to take control. I don't know what's going on. Maestro, take the left. Okay, I don't know. He's not. Can you reset? What is going on? Yeah, it's actually 0 null. Alright, what the fuck is happening? I don't know. Yeah, this is stupid. Some setting changed in Parsec that... Well, what would it be? Yeah, but Maestro is also having the same problems. That makes me think something isn't... But I don't know what. Because everything's working here. Enabled. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can try again. Yeah, mine's working on my end too, so I don't know. We can try again though. Host not found. How would it not be found? What the fuck is happening with Parsec? Alright, Maestro's here. Let's try that again. Okay, yeah, it's working. Alright, void map as always, and you guys know how I run round robin 7 flags. Daisy, I think it's gonna work now for you, but we'll check after this fight. Good luck, Maestro. Game's running well so far, which is also good. Alright, GG, Maestro. Let's get Daisy and Oak in here now. I don't know what we did different, but I was resetting stuff again, and something's working. I really don't know. But yeah, let's get Daisy and Oak in here. It should work if it suddenly started working for Maestro. That's what the settings were, not for round robin. It's points-based round robin. There's no best of 3. That's literally listed in the rules. Yeah. So, all right, to clear up confusion, there are 2 sets of rules. There are the rules for double elimination, and then there's the rules for round robin. So, because we're 7 people, we're doing a round robin. As shown in the rules. All right. Deaf Daisy will be on the left, Oak on the right. Yeah, so you guys only get 1 round because it's round robin, but it will be 7 flags. But you do get to fight everybody, so. As Zero Null says, Parsec is indeed a cruel, arbitrary god. Well, you never know what can happen. Sometimes people also lose by a lot, and then suddenly you get a very good place in the tournament. That's the beauty of the point system. There's a lot of variation as far as the results. It's not guaranteed that everybody will get a lot of points in a given fight. Thrust exchange. Their Oak has gone with Yazuk, a recent change to his main, actually. Usually he plays Laszlo, a bit of Calc sometimes, but he's deciding to experiment with a lot of different characters lately, and Yazuk is the newest one. Thankfully from here, since we've solved whatever technical problem that was, the rest of the tournament should go very smoothly. These round robins tend not to last that long, but you do get a lot of action within that time, so. Yeah, the game's running perfectly, I would say. I don't think I've even noticed weird stuff on death. So that's good. Oak with some blade beats there. That's something Yazuk's very good at. These quick cuts that just come straight to the head. Good stab from Daisy. Not able to kill. There's a lighter hit. Oh, and I thought Oak impaled himself there, but nevertheless his hit did land, even if there was a double. It would have still been bad for Marie, but all the same. Oak with long guard does go low, gets blocked by the hand protection. Sure, Daisy's happy that she got out of that situation. That doesn't happen often when things get messy, that Marie is able to get out. But this time, parry into cut. Very useful move against rapiers for Yazuk. Blade beat, sidestep, surgical from Oak as always. Tough matchup for Marie, I would say, as well. But Daisy is a very good Marie player, you never know. If Oak gets careless, it is very possible for Daisy to score some flags, but in this case, it doesn't quite happen. Oh, yeah. 7-2 victory for Oak. Good effort by both fighters, though. Now we'll get a chance to see Zero Null fight, and I'm afraid there are no easy fights this tournament. Zero Null will have to fight Apostle, who is one of the better Saber players on the server. Okay, Zero Null is here. Again, glad to have Zero Null here. He's been with us for a very long time. I remember years ago we would have casual spars together. We'd meet each other in tournaments all the time. It was the best. So I'm glad to see him back. I am calling you Zero Null on the stream, but if you want to be called something else, don't be afraid to let me know. I just remember you as Zero Null, so. Alright, you will take the left. Let me know if you need keyboard, by the way, and Apostle will take the right. Beautiful. Works for Zero No, works for Apostle. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but we got it working. We're seeing a Sava mirror, trying the new character, which I respect. Apostle's been playing a little bit of that too, a little bit of Sava. By the way, Zero No, we do play other games on the Discord as well, although we are obviously primarily known for Hellish Court. We have been dabbling in other games too. So if there's games that interest you, feel free to hang out on the server and hit people up. Arc Raiders is pretty popular at the moment. There's even Tekken, chess, all sorts of stuff. Age of Empires too, if you're into that. There's a cut from Apostle. Nice cut from Apostle. Just saw some weird stuttering is all. But for the most part, it's still working. Yeah, Zero No was trying to. Oh, there you go. There's the. He has to pick up the knife. Zero No showing some good sportsmanship. FYI, you can actually kill somebody in the middle of that. So any flags that are scored in that way will be invalidated just because you can't move. And I don't think it's fair to the Sava players to have to deal with that. So. Good hit there. Pretty equal fight so far, I would say, but Zero No is taking some hits here. Apostle. Oh, it's a double. And it's cool to see how Zero No has evolved as a player. He's still happy to get in there and exchange with you and be a little bit aggressive. But I remember there was a time very early on when he was a very aggressive player. He was tough to zero knowledge. But, yeah, he used to be extremely aggressive. And as a player, he evolved over time, I think, to play more tactically. And we're seeing that here. It's not that he's afraid to mix it up. He still does so, but he picks better times to do it. And even though he hasn't played the game in a while, I don't think, he's still showing that fight IQ. Which I think is needed with Sava. That cut reaches out surprisingly far, hitting the leg, which was nice. Upcut there. The shank misses somehow, but still carries on with the combo. Nice from Apostle. And Zero No landing a snipe. Again, this is about points, so good to make sure that you score as many as you can. That's a stab to the face that saved Zero No's butt a bit there. That was nicely placed. And there's the knife drop, which is annoying to deal with. I told Kobold about that. We'll see if he fixes the bug. Is Apostle lagging, perhaps? Good sportsmanship by Zero No. He knows about the issues that people can experience on Parsec, so we'll just give Apostle a moment there. Okay, I'll pause the game just to see what's up. Thank you, Zero No, for the sportsmanship. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Technical issues are pretty much inevitable, as Daisy mentioned in the Discord. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Possible, can you let us know what's happening? Did your internet crash? Like, what's happened? You lost your controller. Okay, well, I can try resetting the controllers. We are at 5 to 6. I think, alright, so if you're getting the bug that I used to get, you need to unplug and plug your controller back in. I know it sounds stupid, but if your controller is vibrating, there's a bug that Parsec has where your controllers will stop working. It's annoying to deal with, but it's not something they fixed. They've actually looked it up and it was listed as one of the potential problems, especially with Xbox controllers. So, alright, I'll try unpausing. You should be able to just take control if you plug your controller back in. Okay, Zero Null, I think, has control. What's happening? See why Kubel thinks it's good. Alright, well, we can back out. It will be 5 to 6 in favor of Apostle. We'll just pick it up right there. 5 to 6 for Apostle. Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes Parsec does stuff like that, so that's nothing. There's nothing you can really do about it, I don't think. It did suggest updating the drivers on your, or not the drivers, the firmware on your controller, but given that mine's updated and it's still been happening, I think it's just a Parsec issue. Alright, 5 to 7 for Apostle. Apostle managing to get a good snipe with that attack. It reaches out way more than you expect. Zero Null, if you could stay in the Parsec, that would be helpful just because you have to fight me right away, unfortunately. Beautiful, he's back. Yeah, I left on Impulse there, which is understandable. It's a habit. Like, match is done, you leave Parsec, is usually how it goes. Okay, main menu. Okay, and I'm gonna be on the left, Zero Null on the right this time. Beautiful, controllers working. As much as it might be fun to use Sava, I don't know, his style just doesn't seem to fit me much, so I'm gonna stick with my main, who is Barabash. It's a recent main of mine. Zero Null might not have seen when I switched precisely. So it'll be cool. We're using different characters than we used to. Way back, I used to use Isabella, and then I switched to Alex at some point. I've noticed even when he does the knife toss, you can move, like even if he catches it. So that's something to be aware of as well, guys. Oh, nice. The shank does not kill, but that was a great try. Nice, nice. GG Zero. That was a fantastic Sava. 7-5 there. Slipping in those dagger shots out of nowhere too, which I love seeing. I think if you use Sava at his full potential, that is the type of thing you need to do, so well done. Showing some boldness there too, which is something that you associate with his style. Oak against Maestro now. Okay, somebody is saying that I'm the developer. So, so just to be clear, I am not the developer. I don't work on the game. Nothing of the sort. It's a funny joke though. I am the server owner though, but again, technically speaking, the server is not official. Kobold is not on the server. We do help Kobold test the game, but that's just because we're part of the community. It's nothing, it's not in any sort of official capacity. Just to be clear. All right, Oak on the left, sorry, Maestro on the right. Yeah, we can blitz your fights, Maestro. That's fine. So just Oak will need to take the left side. Maestro will be on the right. Okay, goes of Marie. Oak wants to do the Marie mirror possibly. Obviously, there's no pressure to do that if he doesn't want to, but. And yeah, GG Zero. Oh yeah, we can do Steam for you then. Oak. Yeah, I mean, Sava is a character some people don't like very much, and I think that's just a style thing. Some people don't like his style as much. Maybe there's some things that could be buffed with him as well, but yeah, let me make sure you get the Steam link, Oak. It should work with Steam just fine because Oak is using keyboard, so that's the nice thing about that. Oak just has a particular issue of Parsec for those who don't know, so we might have to just use Steam with him, but everybody else should be just fine on Parsec. Assuming we don't have any catastrophic, like, technical issues or something. No, he's going Yazuk in the end, it looks like. I think he just had lags and then ended up landing on Marie. Okay, let's see what happens here. Maestro picking a tough matchup. Is Oak good to go? What's happening with Oak? It said you had yellow bars on Steam, if that helps. I can't see your ping, I don't think, on Steam, but let me see Maestro's ping just for comparison. Yeah, his is fine. He's on the east coast of the US, so the ping I'm seeing from him is pretty normal. I don't know. You want to try Parsec again, maybe? Sometimes you gotta reset. Like, if Steam is not working, then I don't know. Restart Parsec and try again? Yeah, no worries. Alright, so we'll probably just reset the game Maestro. Alright. As usual, it could be something between Russia and Canada, too. There's a lot of things it could be, but I hope that's not the case. Alright, let's go. Oak taking left. Somebody move back, though. Hopefully Oak's not getting more lag. That could be what happened. Yeah, we can skip your fight, Oak. Sorry, Maestro, to burst your bubble there, but we're gonna move on. Piper against Daisy if Piper is available. That's pretty exciting. Oh, wait. Sorry about that, Maestro. Yes. Ignore that ping, guys. Maestro, come back. We will do your fight against, I guess, Piper. Yeah, I'll let Piper in. That actually works out kind of nicely. Try and join again, Maestro. Regardless, you have to be here. So if Piper doesn't show up, Okay, Piper's here. Beautiful. Okay, Maestro on the left and Piper on the right. If OBS will work, there you go. And I'll just back out and go back in. Oh, nice stab there. Ooh, stab trade there. Yeah, Daisy takes it. Thrust there. Cut. Another cut. Nice from Daisy. Or sorry, not Daisy, it's Maestro. Not used to Maestro playing Marie. I'm not sure why he is, to be honest. This kind of came out of nowhere. Looks like he's kind of throwing the tournament a little bit, but actually it's going pretty well so far against Piper. Piper also having gone Rapier is a little unorthodox, shall we say. He does play a good Marta, though, and it looks like he's getting warmed up. Right to the face from Piper. Piper's getting momentum back. He's known for being very aggressive, but in this case he's going with the Marta pick. Stab through the body. And a stab from Piper. It's just back and forth here. Epic rapier fight. Stab there. Another stab. Push into thrust, and Piper actually wins out there. Crazy. Piper needs one more. Cut. Blade beat into thrust. Another thrust. Maestro grabs out of measure. Maestro getting hit by a bunch of cuts. And then the stab finishes it off there. Alright, 7-5 for Piper, and Piper scores his first victory here against Maestro. Okay, Maestro will fight Daisy next. Let's get Daisy in here. And then after this fight, Maestro will fight Zero Null, and then Apostle. Okay, Daisy on the left, Maestro on the right. There you go. Rapier mirror, it looks like. Good thrust there. Noodle arm, Marie is internal. Yep. Yeah, Marie still has some issues. That hit to the leg's pretty devastating, but that thrust misses. This one time, though, the thrust does connect. Nicely done by Maestro. Maestro sidestep, then a stab to the body. Nice. Daisy's hit wasn't quite as effective, but it was a good try. Maestro harassing the guard with these stabs. Double lunge, but does stop. Doesn't do the second lunge. And, wow, thrust into a cut to finish that from Daisy. Big slashes from both of them. Maestro able to find the faster thrust. That is the danger with cutting with Marie. It's often ill-advised because your point is offline, and the cuts are not going to be as effective as, say, a saber. So when you're not fighting for the center, it's easy for somebody to just land a stab. Good thrust to the arm there. You just go by null? Okay. Noted. Thrust there. But to the arm. Daisy actually making a nice comeback. Maestro is going to have to be careful going forward. The difference isn't so great now. Daisy trying to harass the guard, but Maestro calls her out right away. Perfect lunge there. Incortada by Maestro. Being a little fancy. That dash into thrust does not quite connect. Maestro backs off just in time. That blade beat. And the Incortada counter, but thankfully for Daisy, she was too far, so that didn't connect. Liking some of these plays by Maestro. Trying to stab the hand there, Daisy, but doesn't quite. Incortada again, too far. And Maestro again with that lunge. That is 7-4 for Maestro. Pretty solid win, I would say. But a good try from Daisy. Maestro against Zero Null now. Let's get Null in here. Oh yeah, so we still have to come back to Oak against Maestro, so once we're done these fights, we'll try and do that. Okay, Null is here. Let's do... Yeah, Maestro's on the left. Null is on the right. Marie again goes with Savo, which might be a good pick actually against Marie. Somebody clicked select right. Somebody selected the arena right away. But I think we're on the Void anyway, because it usually automatically goes to that if you didn't highlight something else. So yeah, we're good to go. Dash and thrust, but the shanks, Maestro getting way too close, and he pays for it. Yeah, the rapier is a much longer weapon. It's for stabbing, so you definitely don't want to close in too much, especially against that dagger. Good parry there by Zero. Maestro trying to thrust, hits the long guard, but this time slips a stab in perfectly. Ooh, Zero tries to stab, but Maestro is able to get out of there and land a cut of his own. Low guard thrust by Maestro. It is deflected a little bit by the dagger, but it does land some damage. Cuts to the leg. Maestro backs off, though. Trying to chip away at the HP. Big slash by Zero. Another cut by Maestro. Backs off. I like what I'm seeing from Maestro, actually. He's just chipping away at Sava, trying to play it safe, but you have to land that kill shot at some point. There we go, he finds it. That's the only thing, if Zero calls out those leg cuts, they can leave you quite exposed. Tries to beat the blade, Zero, backs off though when it doesn't work. Sensible, keeps him safe, but then he dashes into that stab. Big slash from Zero, but gets interrupted. That was a good try. Maestro dashing. Goes for a lunge, but gets counter thrust there as he overextended. Nice from Zero, and it's close once more. That thrust nearly connects, but Zero sidestepped it nicely. Stab for the dagger there doesn't quite connect, but that was a good try. Maestro gets too close again. Thankfully for him, though, he's able to get out. And the A sidestep there, nice from Maestro. Getting out of harm's way, laterally as well as linearly. Big slashes from Zero, not able to land any of them. That's a double. Yeah, I like what Maestro's doing with a lot of these flags. He's trying to keep distance. Chip away, and nice triangle there. Very stylish kill. Leg slashes. Zero does not quite land that cut to the head. Using long guard there. Parrying those thrusts, but Zero is very much on the back foot. He doesn't have the reach, and it's tough to close in when you're limping. So that gives Maestro more opportunities to pick him apart. Yeah, Maestro plays the range game very well here, and manages to win pretty convincingly. Nicely played. But also a good effort from Zero. Maestro is still a pretty practiced Marie, so can be tough to deal with. Yeah, Apostle now will fight Maestro. And Oak, once this fight is done, let me know whether you prefer Parsec or you prefer Steam. Okay, Apostle on the left, Maestro on the right. Yeah, take the left Apostle. There we go. Who's Apostle gonna use? It's actually... Okay, he sticks with Sava. It was a bit hard to say, actually, because Apostle plays a lot of different Saber characters. Nice cut there from Apostle. Nice triangle there. Nice thrust again. Maestro doing pretty well with Marie, I have to say, even though Marie is quite a bad character, generally speaking. He's still playing her perfectly, using her reach. And it's proving to be tough for some people to deal with because Marie is still pretty quick on her feet. She can be kind of tough to catch. And Apostle doesn't call Maestro out on those leg cuts, so he eats 3 of them. Not a very powerful move damage-wise, which makes sense. The rapier is not designed to cut, but it does take out your mobility, so it does do something useful for Maestro despite that. Big slash there, perfect counter by Apostle. It could also be that Sava struggles a little bit in this matchup. Yeah, so Daisy, Maestro has been playing Marie, like, since the old days. Maybe not as a main, but he's always been quite familiar with Marie. Much more so than, say, someone like me who doesn't play Rapier very often at all, even. Like, unless it's like a Rapier tourney, or for some reason Marta seems like the best choice, but that doesn't happen often anymore, so. And even still, I wouldn't say I'm a good Marta player. I know some people say I am, but I would not consider myself an actual practice Marta player the way the likes of Ezekiel is, or even Platypi, and people like that. Maestro needing one more here, but Apostle is not making it easy. Pendulum swing into feint, but gets punished. Nice spacing there by Maestro. And the sidestep finishes it. Beautiful from Maestro. 7-5. Okay, let's try and get Oak back in here. Alright, Oak will take the left, Maestro will take the right, and that will conclude Maestro's fights. And it also will mean we're further along in the tourney than it might look. So a lot of the fights will have been finished once we're done this. Let's hope that Oak is able to play this time. I know the lag was a bit of a problem thanks to some issue with Parsec, but apparently it resolves itself most of the time, so hopefully it did so. Good thrust there by Maestro. Bloodthirsty after the fight with me, yeah, it's quite possible. He did seem a little annoyed by how that went, but it's understandable. In this format, if you lose 7-1, it is a pretty devastating blow to your chances of winning. You kind of have to hope that other people have a similar performance, and so it's more equal. But yeah, maybe it's inspired him to perform at his best despite randomly switching to Marie. I don't know. Dashing for Maestro, not able to get the grab though. I see what he was trying to do. Thrust through the body there, not able to get a kill. But there, that second thrust is able to land nice from Maestro. Another thrust from Maestro. I think he's getting a little bit too close sometimes and it's not doing the full damage. But still, this is taking a toll. Oak is no longer able to move at full speed. Lost a bunch of blood. Maestro needs one more. Surgical play from Marie, and actually this could really ruin Oak's chances of getting a top spot. So Maestro has not only done really well in most of his fights, but he's also made life rough, I think, for some of his opponents. Definitely made this tournament interesting, despite the random Marie switch, which I think initially didn't go so well, but now he's been playing pretty much a perfect Marie, I would say. Double lunge finishes it there. I don't think Oak long guarded in time. It's tough to say. But still, Maestro doing fantastic. 7-2, I believe it was. Yeah. Okay, Piper against Daisy now. We're back to round 2. Get these two in. Oh, I don't know why I gave you 2 links. Anyway, to get rid of that one. They're both the same. I think I pasted it twice or something. Alright, they're both here. It'll be 0-0 against Oak after this. Is Piper able to take control? Piper's on the left, yeah. Daisy on the right. Is Piper gonna use Alex is the question. No, he goes with Marta. I think he was gonna base that choice off of whether Daisy used Marina or not. Alex is, I think, a character that can walk all over Marie. The issue is just that he's very open to being stabbed. So he's going with the rapier instead. Piper has had a strong showing so far. I believe he actually defeated Maestro in the rapier duel. So he's also proven to be a surprisingly good rapier player. I'd say Marta's better than Marie in most ways. She recovers from blade beats really well. She's very accurate, even more accurate now because she had an update recently. And she just does a good job of counterattacking and keeping range. Ironically, this is also a matchup that Marie can win, just because they're both trying to essentially land stabs on each other, so it's very easy to open yourself up by mistake, but if we're talking most matchups, Marta tends to do better. I would say she's one of the meta picks, despite not being the most popular. Is Piper okay? I think something's happening with Piper. Maybe Piper's getting that same issue I was getting with the vibrating controller. If that happens, Piper, you can unplug your controller and plug it back in. That should fix it. Annoying as hell, though, is it happens after a kill shot, whether it's yours or the opponent's, and then you're just frozen. So give that a try if that's what's happening. Beautiful. Yeah, I'll try to look into this, guys, and see if I can find a fix. It's an issue I've been experiencing, and there doesn't seem to be a fix yet, but... Your preferred rapier? Yeah, I would prefer Marta as well, although, again, I don't consider myself a good Marta player. If I'm to pick a rapier, it's definitely Marta. Slashes there by Daisy. Definitely took a toll on the stamina and dashes in to finish it. Nice. Yeah, Marta's definitely pretty fun. Can you try to rejoin? Sure. I don't know if that'll fix whatever is happening to you, but we can absolutely try that. Alright, Piper, try to take the left side. Hopefully it works. We might have to actually redo the fight. Try clicking the screen as well. If that doesn't work, we'll retry. Alright, it was 2-4 for Daisy. Let's try this again. Piper take the left, of course. Oh yeah, Zero's Laszlo was very, very good back in the day. What's wrong with Piper? He doesn't seem to be doing anything. There we go. Yeah, same picks, of course. Yeah, Marta, Marie, there you go. Piper has 2, and Daisy has 4. So Daisy will need to score 3 flags, and Piper will need to score 5. There's one for Daisy. Beautiful low guard thrust. Another attempt there by Daisy. Piper's able to close down the center line. Still Daisy with a very nice grab. And Daisy needs one more to win a very convincing victory against Piper. The triangle is parried by the hand protection. Nice from Piper. That bull guard coming in handy. cup hilt, if you want to call it that. Either is fine. Bunch of attacks from Piper. I think he was a little overzealous. That is 3 to 7. And Piper unfortunately lost it there, but he managed to score a flag, at least before he went down. Okay, 0 against Oak now. Okay, both fighters are in. Well, let me make sure I deal with the names too. 1 second, guys. Alright, go ahead. Let's see how this one goes. Oak has historically done very well against Sava players. But we'll see what he can do with against 0, who might bring... Wait, I think the sides are on. That's okay, we'll just continue. Okay, so swap them and you have the fighters. I think they picked the wrong side. It doesn't matter that much, though. So. So far, even fight, the stab from that knife there is not able to connect in time. Very risky move at times, but very effective when it lands perfectly. And 0 trying to retreat here as Oak turns on the heat there with that pressure and snipes the hand. That's something Oak has been very good at with Yazik lately, is getting aggressive with him and sort of suffocating you with attacks that you have to deal with. You can't just ignore them. And there's a snipe to the hand, Oak moving in and out, and a snap cut to the head. That's a very brutal one because it shoots forward very far, so it can be very tough to defend against, especially if you're trying to reply with an offensive of your own. It'll usually beat you to the punch. 0 with a stab, not able to kill, but at least did some damage. 0 is actually tired right now, and that diminished his guard combined with the dash, and it looks like. Perfect snap cut by 0. Trying to bring it back, going for a hand snipe, but doesn't quite land it. Thrust attempts, no dice for either of them there. That dagger thrust was a nice try, but he unfortunately gave up the center, so Oak was able to land a stab. And there's the funny knife drop. Good sportsmanship by Oak. Trying to snipe the hand. 0's trying to play this carefully now. He knows he cannot afford to give up another flag, but that also somewhat plays into Oak's hands as he just starts applying the pressure like a bulldozer trying to break through. And there's a hit to the head as Zero is not able to land a thrust in time. 7-2. Convincing victory for Oak, who's been doing great this tournament as well. Still a great effort from Zero. That's a very, very tough opponent. So, I mean, really, it's as tough as it gets. Oak is a demon no matter which character he picks. Yazuk included, evidently. Which might have surprised a lot of people, but his Yazuk is a menace. Apostle will have to fight twice. First, he is fighting me, and then he will fight Oak. And I think after this fight, I'll just head off for a little bit. I'll still let the tournament continue, though. I don't want to put a pause on anything or take a break or anything like that. I'll just have to step away for a bit. So what I'll do is after this fight, I'll get Oak in here and you two can just fight and carry on, and then I'll enter the score in if I don't get back in time. Because I don't want to interrupt this tournament any more than we need to, especially after the technical issues that we briefly experienced. We're still doing just fine for time, actually. This tournament's been running very efficiently, but still would rather not waste any more time if we can avoid it. Apostle will take the left. I'll be on the right. Just go ahead and click the window if you're still not in. Yeah, go ahead. I expect the Sava. I'm just sticking with my main. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. Alright, good fight. 7-3 there. And like I said, Apostle, you gotta fight once more against Oak. So let's get Oak in here, and I'll make sure Oak can play as well, because I know sometimes Oak gets those issues. Don't want to leave him hanging for an extended period of time. Okay, beautiful Oak is here. I'll take care of the names, then you guys can go ahead and fight. I shouldn't be too long, but if I am late, that's all good as well. Alright, good luck, guys. I'll just swap sides for you to make sure you can select. Yazuk against Hassan. That's different. Okay, good luck, guys. I'll be right back.
Moje.
Alright, I'm back. Looks like just in time to see possibly the end of this fight. I'm sure Apostle is determined to not make that the case, but Oak secures the win there. 7-3. It looked like a pretty good fight from what I saw, though, so very good try from Apostle. The score often does not tell the full story. Piper against 0-0 now. I'm excited to see that one. The leg is gone now. That is also great to hear. Yeah, great to hear that. And, Null, if you don't mind, I would like for you to stay in the Parsec after this fight, just so you can fight Daisy, because that's the next fight coming up. Since we did Maestro's fights. Alright, go ahead, Piper. I think Piper was having internet problems earlier, is what might have been happening as well. I hope that's been sorted out. I saw his ping was unusually high. It was in the 700s or something. Hope that is sorted out now, but we'll see. I'm sure Piper is happy to just march forward as well. Even if he's dealing with issues, but we'll see. Piper's the type of player who just, when he goes forward, he never stops. And this is true of Hassan as well, although he's not playing Alex at the moment. His usual main, he's still, I'd say he has a very similar game plan. So far it's not working out though, those dagger thrusts are coming in, as are those sword cuts. Hassan's guard is not able to cope very well, certainly not when moving forward. But that was a nice sidestep. Piper is not able to follow it up. Zero isn't either though on that defense there because he hit the hilt, not the blade. A little bit unfortunate. But I guess he was a little too close. They trade hits this time. Piper just goes in. That's what Piper does. Lands that stab perfectly. Goes for a lunge. Now just goes in with cuts. And then Piper gets a grab. Excellent. That is something that Sava lacks there. A bunch of stabs there from Zero. I love seeing that. Is not able to get the kill right away, but perfect follow-up. Ooh, thrust out of measure there is punished instantly by Piper. That is the danger of the daggers. You don't have that much range with it, so it's very easy to get called out. Piper tries to grab again, but he pays for it actually with a stab to the gut. Yeah, Zero's been doing great this tournament. It really doesn't feel like he's left for as long as he has. He's been on the server, of course. It's just he hasn't been participating in tournaments. Yeah, this is... There's been quite a few twists this fight here. That grab doesn't connect. Good grab defense by Zero. That's what I mean. He's been showing some good promise despite being away for a while. Piper's still eventually able to secure the win, but Zero made that a brawl. So well fought by both of you. Zero, just stay in the parsec because you'll be fighting again right away just because of how it's turned out. You'll be fighting Daisy this time though. Probably Rapier against Sava, then Piper you'll fight right after this again, so be ready against Apostle. Okay, Null on the left, Def Daisy on the right. Oh yeah, Racer's playing where winds meet. That's I saw a little bit of that game, and I'm actually a little bit curious to try it. I'm not usually into that wushu, like, type gameplay. Just because it doesn't look like fighting to me, it just looks like dancing. It has nothing to do with actual combat. But I understand as well that it's intentionally over the top. It's fantasy. So from that perspective, it's definitely cool. And I saw some fast-paced like combat and people being sent flying and stuff. So that is pretty cool. It's also, I don't know, it's just the type of fantasy that I like is not quite the same as that, typically. I'm usually more into, like, medieval Europe, steampunk, even diesel punk actually is pretty cool. And also Japanese, like anything Japanese tends to be cool as well. But that's just a personal taste thing, that's not anything against the game or anything like that, because I haven't played it yet, so definitely wanting to look at it. Good thrust there from Daisy. Who has to pick up the dagger? I always find that funny, but I do hope that Kupold fixes the bug with that. Nice stab to the arm from Zero. I don't mind the animation staying in the game, of course, as it is good humor. I just hope Kubold allows the players to... doesn't allow the players to move when that happens. Good parry, that thrust there, and then a dagger stab right after. Excellent from Zero, just surgical with those moves. Oh, and I see what Zero wanted to do. I think he wanted to catch the blade first and then come in with a dagger thrust or something, but he was not able to catch the blade, and instead he ran right into it. Big slash. It bounced off Marie's head, I think. That's crazy. These things happen sometimes. This is the game we play, but I guess Marie is wearing a secret helmet under that hat. Which actually is a thing, by the way. Even in the 17th and 18th centuries, like, people wore skull caps sometimes under their hats. And obviously a sword cut to the head full force would still rattle you, but it would save your life. Especially dragoons used to wear that. Stabbed to the body by 0. Somebody clip that, 'cause that was pretty funny. Alright, 0 not able to get the kill after those stabs, but it definitely reduced Marie's health and stamina. But the grab from Daisy, finishing it. 7-4, but good effort by 0. Maybe Sava does struggle against the rapiers a bit. I'm really curious to hear what people have to say about that matchup, because that isn't a matchup that I've played much, so I can't comment there. Apostle against Piper now. The need to shank, yeah, exactly, right? Because you want to land those stabs, but are they always the most optimal move? Maybe not. Okay, Piper is here. Apostle here. Apostle will take the left, Piper on the right. And I'll fight Oak right after, which is exciting. I think that'll be the sort of deciding match as to who wins. But we'll see. Definitely me versus Piper will also be pretty important in its own right. Interesting, Piper not using Alex, he's using his other secondary mains, including Hassan and Marta in this case. Goes for a stab, then a cut to the body. Perfect combination by Piper. Also using an aggressive style with Marta. Not much is changing in that regard. It's just the character. A cut to the body, then a push. And that's the kind of thing that Marta can do that Marie can't, is that even if Marta gets a suboptimal hit, she can follow up that hit with 2 more, or 3 more, even sometimes 5 or 6 more, believe it or not. You can get these insane stun locks with Marta. Stab to the body there by Piper. A joy to watch as Marta fight. And then there's a cut to the body. And along with that, Marta's more accurate too, so she is just more likely to get a kill outright. And that was a parry with the cut, which turned into a series of other attacks. Piper finding some interesting combos here that aren't typically used with Marta. They're not like true combos, but they're sequences of moves that string together really well. I think some of them are like combos, but then he continues with other attacks. Marta's very good at that type of thing. Bunch of attacks from Piper. Gets his blade beat, but still the back Y is able to get a kill, so it's a double. Piper aiming for the body, but that was a bit of a feint, actually. Kind of drew Apostle in a little bit, and then does a thrust to the body. Catches with the bull guard there, and then continues with a stab from the push. 7-1. What can I say? Aggressive Marta play, but it works very well. That hand protection also really helping Marta out there. Let's get Oak to fight me now. Sava Marie seems like a fun matchup. Yeah. Definitely a disputed one. Okay, I will be on the left for this one. Oak on the right. And I'll fight Piper right after this, so that's exciting. Now, I'm deliberately not showing you guys the standings just because we've done a bunch of fights out of order, so we don't have an exact picture yet of what they look like. We're going to wait until all the fights have concluded and then have a look.
Moje.
GG. Very tough Yazlik there. 7-4, and then I'm fighting Piper. Yeah, very good fight. Yeah, Piper. Let's get you in. Okay, Piper, you're on the left this time. I'm on the right. Take Barabash as usual. Alexander, interesting. Piper has taken off the gloves. We're gonna have ourselves a very intense saber duel. Oh, GG, Piper. Alright, Daisy against the Possible now. That was well done from Piper. Okay, Daisy on the left, the Possible on the right. Daisy, you're gonna have to fight again. Just because we don't have many fights left, actually. We're almost done, so make sure you stay in. You're gonna fight me immediately after. Then we'll end with a banger, and that's Oak against Piper. So hopefully it'll be an intense saber fight just like this one that we did. Okay, Daisy is here, Apostle is here. Yeah, Daisy take the left, Apostle on the right. I'll report the bug that I experienced with Parsec, by the way, in the bug report so people know about it. Because I think I'm seeing other people are possibly experiencing it. It's hard to differentiate it from lag because people will also stop and like not do anything when it lags. So still, I think it's good to make it known. I'm not experiencing it at all this tournament, so that tells me it is a Parsec thing. It is not the game thing. So that's also the nice thing, is I was able to confirm that it's not my controller that was causing a problem. Hopefully Parsec fixes that. That's actually out of Koopal's hands, that one. Regardless, Apostle going with Connor, which is an interesting pick here. We don't see the shields very often in competition anymore. They're often considered underwhelming or just not very fun to play as, so... Big slash there from Connor, and Maria's just not able to trade favorably this time. I'm assuming Apostle picked the shield to counter the rapier, which does make sense. It can be very tough for Marie, but Marie gets a perfect stab there. Nice from Daisy. Thrust out of measure there is punished perfectly. I think Daisy's found something that might work. Cuts there from both of them. Nobody's killed yet. Tries to stab low, that same angle that was working before. And yeah, this time it works, as Apostle moves right into it. Very intelligent use of Marie by Daisy. Daisy tries to go low, smart again, but got a little too close, I would say, in that effort to hit the leg. Dashes in, stab to the body, and now Apostle is limping. And there's a grab from Daisy. Daisy's been landing a few of those. I think maybe Info has taught her some things, or she's trying something new. It is actually a good idea of Marie, because a lot of people don't expect it from a rapier coming in to grab like that, but it is something that Marie does pretty well, especially against people who are trying to lunge after a long guard, which is the standard way to counter a thrust from Marie, but it leaves you wide open to a stab. Or to a grab, I should say. It can also leave you open to a stab, but usually grab is the main thing you're watching out for. High guard there, but gets stabbed in the armpit. That was nicely done. Very close fight. Yeah, I think Daisy's trying to set up that perfect counter, keep range. Apostle, obviously, his goal is to close in. That's what he has to do with the shorter weapon and the shield. And tries the London stab, but too far. Deaf Daisy was able to land prone. Low guard thrust perfectly placed there. And Daisy takes it despite the tough matchup on paper. Like I said, Daisy, this is your last fight against me. So make sure you stay in the parsec. I think she just left, but that's fine. She joined instantly. Happens to the best of us. Plus our orders kind of messed up because Meister had to finish his matches, so. Alright, good luck, Daisy. This will be my last fight as well. Pretty important one, I would say. I've got to make sure I score some flags at the very least to secure my win. Alright, GG, Daisy. Yeah, no worries about not staying. That happens to the best of us. It's not like you held us up. You were back instantly, so it makes no difference. Oak and Piper will fight to end the tournament. No, we're not doing the funny final thing. We're just gonna end the round robin right after this. We could give that a try, though. I'm actually open to that. It is a neat format, but... Okay. Yeah, Oak's on the left, Piper's on the right. Hopefully Piper doesn't get any lag or something like that. Oh yeah, did I just jinx it? He might be. Yeah, Piper needed Daisy to win like 7-0 or something. Yeah, I'm afraid to say I think even that wouldn't have allowed you to win Piper, but it certainly would have helped if I had 2 bad performances. Yeah, because I was clicking off to see what was up. You can try now. Yeah. Alexander, yep. The gloves have come off against somebody as good as Oak. Yeah, Saber duel as we expected. Alex is historically a rough matchup for Yazik, but we also haven't seen Oak's Yazik fighting Alex a whole lot, so we'll see what Oak can cook up. Goes low there. Piper gets a grab though, wow. Jump there from Piper, tries another grab, but Oak just carves him up. Yeah, well, I think Bara versus Marie is just really rough for Marie. And you might say, well, there's not, like, most matchups are rough for Marie, and I would agree, but I think Bara Bash is particularly rough for her, so. I really think that's the main thing. At least in Marie's current state, that's how it is. I've seen some amazing plays from Daisy, so I think if Marie was buffed, it would definitely be harder. Oh, there's another grab from Piper. Piper's just going ham. And I mean, he's beaten me. He's definitely proven his mettle here. Grab attempt again, but gets sidestep. Piper really wants to win this in style, but Oka's not letting it happen. He's actually being smart here by sidestepping. It's a good idea against Alex. Yeah, there's some beginners guys who want matches, so if you're done your... Well, most of you are done your matches now. It's just these two who have to play it. Like, if you still want to play some Hellish Quart, go ahead into the matchmaking and give them some matches. Glad to see some more new players entering the community. And a grab from Piper. This is a great fight, and we're down to the wire now. Piper sidesteps, and that was close, but unfortunately for Oak, he gave Piper his hand, so Piper takes that one, but it was 7-6, so it was a pretty damn close fight right there. Very intense. So, yeah, Piper has proven to be a very good Saber duelist. And let's have a look at the standings. I will briefly turn off the game capture so you guys can see as well. Actually, I'll just close out of the game. We don't need the game open anymore. Easier to leave it on just for future events. So, having ended the tournament here, obviously I got first place. So I did lose the one fight, but it was only by 1 flag. So essentially I got very, very close to the maximum score possible. But Piper, with a well-deserved second place, I have to say, this was a fantastic performance. He also beat Maestro's performance, which is pretty impressive because Maestro was winning a lot of fights with Marie. But in the end, ended up getting the 3rd place. I think that first loss really wrecked Maestro's chances of getting that 2nd place, but he still did fantastic. Oak not far behind Maestro at 4th place. Daisy got 5th. Apostle 6th, and Zero No, although he got last place, it is tied with Apostle, and I have to say, for somebody who wasn't very active and whatnot and suddenly came back in to scrap with some people, he did great. Uh, the reality is right now in our community that the competition is very strong. It's very tough to get into for that reason. Even the top players are struggling, and really, we're at the point now where when you're any given fight, when you're in any given fight, it's just you can't be absolutely sure that you're gonna win because so many players have upped their game. They've gotten so much better, whether we're talking about Piper, Daisy, Oak, Maestro, Ezekiel, Venator. Just name anybody on the server who's active, and odds are they have some very good strats, some very good fight IQ, and all these sorts of things. And it's cool to see because every character is represented. So it's cool to see the variety of styles and what each of the characters can do. Anyway, this tournament ran on a little bit longer than I was hoping just because of the technical issues, but still, I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a pleasure to watch, and we were still able to end it, I think, in a reasonable amount of time, all things considered. Won't keep you guys any longer. Thanks for participating. Community would not be what it is without all of your support, and I'll see you next time.